Hi, this is Sean with GrowFit Studio. I am really excited to be here today, starting my first video in showing how to incorporate Pilates concepts into an interval workout. I've been practicing and teaching Pilates for over 15 years, and I absolutely love what I've benefited from it as well as how it has helped my clients. I also absolutely love interval training. I love it because it's short, effective, and you can do it anywhere. You don't necessarily need any equipment. So I've come to realize, though, that the principles I've learned in Pilates have helped me effectively do my interval workouts. And I thought it was just something nice I could share with people to help them, anyone who's doing an interval workout, to make sure you're using proper form, controlling the moves, and recruiting the proper muscle groups. So I'm going to be going over these principles from Pilates that I'm going to call GrowFit tips. There are 5 of them. And this video is going to be instructional as I go through each one of these tips. The exercises that I'm going to be using are pretty simple. Some are similar for some of the concepts that I'll be demonstrating. But just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to use those simpler moves to help explain these concepts. After this instructional video, or hereafter, I will be posting interval workouts, real time, where I will have these GrowFit tips listed on the side of the video as it's playing, as I'm doing it, to help you keep all of these tips in mind, because they're very important. They're body awareness, mainly. And so I want you to remember that not one of these concepts is more important than another. They're all involved in any kind of move that you're going to be doing. Some might be more emphasized than another in a move, but just to get into habit to realize these are all involved in any move that we're going to be doing. But I'm going to break them down simply in this video for you. So take it from there. So the first of these GrowFit tips that I'm going to touch on is breathing. Sounds pretty basic and common sense, but from Pilates I've learned that a deep forced exhalation is the best way to recruit your entire core, and not just blowing your air out, not just tightening your core, which a lot of people tell you to do in a video. A full exhale. It's a forced exhalation. You're going to be making a shh, very strong noise. My kids tease me about it all the time, but it does help you to recruit all of your abdominal muscles. I'm going to be doing some small movements here to help you show different times you'd be recruiting your core. For example, in flexion, doing a small abdominal crunch, lying on the mat. Just going to keep my arm by my side. As I flex off the mat, forced exhalation allows me to engage my core and feel like my ribs are sliding down to my hips. Okay, so anytime you're going to be flexing your spine, that deep exhale, you're going to recruit. Another position, you're going to use a deep exhale. Think of your breath as not only for flexion, it's going to be for stability. For example, when I'm going to be on my back, I have to work my legs in the air. I'm going to raise my legs to the ceiling. I'm going to have my head and shoulders off the mat. I prefer to do it that way. I need to lower my legs. I'm going to need stability to do that. So I'm going to exhale to move my legs. Inhale to draw the legs back up. Exhaling to engage my core, protecting my back as I come back up. So breathing is for flexion, it's for stability, and it's also for power. For example, if you're going to squat. So using a forced exhalation for your power, and use the example of that situation is when you're going to do a squat. I'm going to turn to the side, inhale to go down, exhale, engaging my core, again protecting, you're using the breath to protect your back, but also for the power, to stand back up. Again, simple examples here that are going to be used to show these GrowFit tips or these concepts. In interval workouts that I'll be following later, you'll see more clearly how these concepts will be used. GrowFit tip number 2 has to do with your pelvis, or basically your lower back. Through Pilates, I've come to learn that your pelvis should be in either one or 2 positions depending on the exercise that you're going to be doing and or your strength involved. So first off, we're going to talk about the neutral placement of your pelvis. So typically when you're lying on the mat, allow the natural curve of your back to be there. You might have a little space of your lumbar spine not touching. Some people might be a little bit more flat back, but just allow that natural curve to be there. That is your neutral. So So if I'm going to be doing some exercise when I keep my feet on the mat, I'm going to maintain a neutral pelvis. Just like that crunch I did for Grow Fit tip number 1, I'm going to drop my chin and exhale, flex my upper back, upper shoulders off the mat. My pelvis stayed neutral. Again, use that nice strong exhale to come up and lower back down. What I did not do was squeeze my glutes and cram my back into the mat to come up. You're going to overutilize your rectus here, and you're cramming your back on the mat instead of allowing that natural curve to remain. So whenever your feet are going to stay on the mat, it's an easy thing to remember, stay neutral. However, if I need to work my legs in the air for an exercise, again with my legs, I want to do in Pilates what's called an imprint. And so I'm going to hold my arm up so you can look through this lower part of my body. As I take a strong exhale, contract my abs to try to melt my back into the floor by using those obliques here on the side, like drawstrings, bringing my ribs and hips closer together. I'm going to keep that imprinted position. I'm going to bring my legs into the air. So now, whether my legs are bent or straight, if I need to do an exercise, head nod, coming off, my back is protected on the mat, using my core again for stability. I'm using it for power. That nice strong exhale, and my back is protected, like so. So whenever your feet are going to be in the air, you're going to be in imprinted position. You can think of the front of your body to do that, not squeezing your glutes. If you're going to keep your feet on the mat, you're going to maintain a neutral pelvis. Grow Fit tip number 3 has to do with your head and neck position. Very simply, this concept is that your head and neck should always follow your spine. Pretty basic. What I'm going to do again is lie down on my mat and do that same abdominal crunch I've been doing to demonstrate the other principles. But here, if you'll notice, I'll be dropping my chin ever so slightly. So now when I contract my abs with a strong exhale, my head follows my spine. I'm not going to keep my head back here because it's very heavy and there's a lot of strain on your neck. So, drop the chin slightly, keep the head there, and it's your abdominals to draw you up off of the mat. My head is following my spine. So in flexion, I will do a small head nod. However, when I need to do any kind of extension on my back, I'm going to turn over, do supine position. Basically, it's a Superman of sorts. People are familiar with that exercise. My nose is resting just on the mat. Now I'm going to need to lift my chin just ever so slightly and exhale to come into a little bit of extension. I did not allow my head to keep lifting like this because therefore my head is no longer and neck are no longer following my spine. So don't overextend the head and neck. Lift the chin, exhale as you come up. It's a very simple concept. Head and neck should always follow your spine. Grow Fit tip number 4, shoulders. I've learned through Pilates that learning how to stabilize your shoulders is just as important as engaging your core. So a lot of people, or all of us, overuse our shoulders. A lot of us have bad posture and carry a lot of stress in our shoulders. So especially if we're going to be doing any kind of plank work, the placement of your shoulders and stability of your shoulders is very important. So I'm going to demonstrate that. First I'll show you what not to do. As you come into all fours, you're not even into a plank position yet. You see my shoulders, it's very easy to start kind of hanging into them with literally your shoulder blades kind of popping off the back of your rib cage. You want to almost feel like you're pushing off of the floor to get those scapular, your shoulder blades to lie nicely against the back of your rib cage. Not so much that I'm going to round my back, just find that even kind of midway point. So now when I go to move into a full plank position, I always feel like I stabilize my shoulders first, and then of course the plank, your whole body is engaged, core is tight, tummy's pulled up and in this position. Same thing is going to go with if you even do a plank into a low position. You want your elbows under your shoulders, whether you keep your knees down or your feet down, come into a nice position here. Grow Fit tip number 5 is alignment. Pretty common sense, but it's very important as you're doing any kind of exercise that you have proper alignment, especially of your legs and your knees, basically tracking properly over your feet. I'm just going to demonstrate this in a plie squat, which a lot of people have difficulty with. Standing tall, core is zipped up. As I go to drop into my squat, I want to aim my knees out over the center of my feet and not let them buckle in this way. And coming back up. So think nice and wide. This will apply to any kind of squat. I'm just doing this one for demonstration. Out. Again, exhale. Shh. To come back up. So those are the 5 Grow Fit tips. And all of them, none of them will stand alone by themselves as you're exercising. All of them are involved in any kind of exercise that you might be doing. One might be more emphasized than another, but never forget that they're all involved. So when I post my workout videos after this, interval workouts, these Grow Fit tips are going to be listed on the side just to help you keep them in mind, and hopefully soon they'll become kind of second nature to you. But while you're doing the interval workout, if you're not quite sure, where should my head be? Oh my gosh, is my pelvis, and do I need to be imprinted? Hopefully having them listed on the side is going to benefit you as you're doing these interval workouts. So, like I said, this is my first video. I'm excited on this journey that I've started, and hope you stay with me. And thank you for watching. This is Sean with Grow Fit. Take care.